Could New Zealand really host its own Disneyland? It's an interesting question. We'll get to that in a second. Also this morning, all the fuss about a budget Jeremy Clarkson show in New Zealand. Entertainment reporter Mitch Hageman is with us this morning to break down these headlines. Mitch, good morning.
G'day, Ryan.
Good to have you on the show. Welcome. Now, we'll start with Disneyland. Personally, massive fan. What is the story? Why is New Zealand potentially involved in this story?
Look, I'm also a massive fan too, and I've just come back from there actually. And I also saw that Disney was going to open up an Abu Dhabi park as well. So it kind of made me think, well, what about New Zealand? You know, we've never had something like this before. We need the tourism, we need something like this. And I just threw the idea out there. And the feedback's been a bit mixed, so clearly. So, you know, we don't have the foot traffic, that's the big thing that comes through, that people are saying to me we don't have the infrastructure to be able to handle it. But I say, look, dream big, right? Yeah, Walt, dream big. Yeah, I know you laugh, pipe dream, right? But
we can't even handle Rainbow's End.
Exactly, and that's the thing. But Rainbow's End is not a good thing for people to be coming to New Zealand and saying, I'm sorry, Rainbow's End, but, you know, we need something bigger.
It's not pulling in the big tourist numbers from overseas, is what you're saying.
No, it's not. And, you know, Chris Luxon wants to put $13.5 million into getting tourism here. What if he says, look, come over to Disneyland, come and do this? So
look, I love the enthusiasm, and I do love Disneyland, but surely New Zealand's Disneyland is its natural environment. You know, that's the Disneyland.
Couldn't we use stuff like that? I mean, look what they've done with, you know, winter workshops and stuff like that. Things like Avatar, and we've got all these kind of weird and wonderful ideas that we can throw around there. There's so many opportunities.
Do you think maybe like roller coasters on Mount Cook, that kind of thing?
Oh, I don't know. What about a Lord of the Rings kind of boat ride? I mean, things like that.
Look, I don't think you're going to have much in the way of complaints from the punters here in New Zealand. But it's whether anyone's willing to put money behind it.
Exactly.
Right.
That'll be the big thing. And I don't think, you know, there have been discussions in Australia actually. I've done research into that, and essentially what they came out and said, we don't have the infrastructure, we don't have the foot traffic.
Yeah.
So yes, as I say, pipe dream, but who knows? Maybe something will miraculously happen in 20 odd years.
Hey,
time.
keep beating that drum. Speaking of money and you know not making enough of it, Noel Edmonds is he having problems with his business, his farm in New Zealand?
Yeah, so he's actually got a show. I think it's called Noel Edmonds' Kiwi Adventure that's airing over in the UK at the moment. And what's kind of happening is clips coming out. It's not airing here in New Zealand at the moment, but clips coming out at the moment of what's happening on that show. And essentially he's kind of revealed that he's hemorrhaging about $30 million from, sorry, not $30 million, hemorrhaging a lot of money from his $30 million kind of estate he's got there in Motueka. And he's putting that down to cold and rain and not getting enough business because of the crap weather here in New Zealand, which is an interesting kind of thing to bring up, I think, you know. Like, yeah, you know, right. You come to somewhere like New Zealand, you know there's going to be a rainy season, you know, you're going to have lapses in business at some point.
Yeah,
so.
No, totally. Okay, so when will that air here, that show?
We don't know yet, but I'll definitely keep you updated about if and when we do get that show, because I know there'll be a lot of interest in it. And it's interesting too, because over where that kind of estate is, there's so much interest in property there at the moment. So there's already kind of this bubbling kind of, oh, what's he doing there, and is this a place to be? So we'll see what happens there.
All right, Mitch, appreciate you coming on the show this morning. Thanks so much. That's our entertainment reporter, Mitch Hageman.